Tras 3 semanas, estas últimas 2 semanas no he podido hacer directo de Genshin Impact porque he tenido comidas o he tenido que estudiar. Entonces, pues bueno, volvemos en esta tercera semana. Entonces os debo en total un total de 6 horas de... Hola, bienvenido directo, sonido. Me se escucha perfecto. Os debo un total de 6 horas de Genshin Impact. Entonces mi plan es el siguiente. Si lo recordáis, si no, ya sabéis que tenéis la lista de reproducción disponible para ver todos los episodios de Genshin Impact desde el primero hasta este último. Obviamente este último no está subido todavía porque aún no se ha resubido. Hola, bienvenido directo, que se ha unido, bienvenido. Están toda la serie subida, ¿vale? Desde, os voy a decir ahora mismo la fecha del primer episodio. Desde el primer episodio, que es de el 27 de diciembre de 2020, hasta hoy, 21 de octubre de 2023. O sea, casi 3 años jugando este vastísimo juego, ¿eh? Ya veis lo grande que es, ya si lo habéis ido siguiendo la serie, sabréis que cada cierto tiempo hay actualizaciones y demás. O sea, los que conocéis Genshin no hace falta ni que os lo explique. Pero bueno, así que vamos a ello. Hola, bienvenido directo que se ha unido. Hoy nos vamos a dirigir a Fontaine. Entonces, bueno, ya sabéis que ayer estuvimos en directo en Fortnite. Se habló de eso, de Fortnite Mers, de todo lo que trajo la nueva actualización, de que posiblemente la siguiente temporada volvamos al capítulo 1. Pero bueno, a lo que iba. Sé que cambio de tema, pero bueno, no tiene poco que ver. Y por cierto, salió Spider-Man 2 para PlayStation 5, una pena que no lo pueda jugar. Sería espectacular que tuviera una PlayStation 5, pero no la tengo. Entonces, bueno, a lo que iba, que el directo de hoy, como mínimo, será de unas 2 horas, ¿vale? Que es lo que os debo, pues, de esta semana. Luego, si me apetece, puedo hacer hasta 6 horas. Pero, por ejemplo, si yo hago 3 horas, os debo un directo de 3 horas más las 2 horas del siguiente fin de semana. Vale, imaginemos que yo hago un directo de hoy de 3 horas y media. Pues el siguiente directo puede ser de como máximo de 5 horas y media. Perdón, de 2 horas, sí, de 4 horas y media. ¿Por qué? Porque os debo 2 horas y media de lo que me queda más las 2 horas de ese fin de semana, ¿vale? Entonces simplemente es ir sumando, ¿vale? Entonces, lo que haga hoy menos lo que me quede, o se lo sumo básicamente, ¿vale? Entonces, bueno, sí, o más fácil, si el directo de hoy es de 5 horas, ¿vale? El fin de semana siguiente como máximo será de 3 horas, ¿vale? Porque es lo de ese fin de semana más lo que me quede. ¿Vale? Espero que lo hayáis entendido bien. Entonces, bueno, en conclusión, que como máximo el directo va a ser de 6 horas. Y como mínimo, pues será de 2 horas. Así que vamos a ir entrando ya a Fontaine. Me voy a callar la boquina. Y nada, eso, vamos a darle caña. No sé si habrá metido alguna cosina nueva. No creo que haya habido una nueva actualización porque la última actualización fue la última vez que nos metimos. Aún así lo podemos ver en el pase de batalla porque normalmente cada actualización es cuando caduca. Entonces, bueno, el directo de ayer tampoco es que tuviera mucho apoyo, pero bueno, me lo pasé bien, simplemente estuve una orina, pero bueno, yo creo que estuvo bien, la verdad. Así que nada, vamos a ver si carga y vamos a darle caña. La verdad es que ya había comentado en algún que otro directo de Fortnite, me está gustando bastante esta temporada. Y eso es bueno porque las últimas temporadas de el capítulo 4 solo me había gustado el principio de las temporadas. Bueno, la de la uno no, porque el evento final fue una basura, la verdad. Y lo comenté en su momento y demás, pero las otras dos estuvieron chulas. Lo que es el principio. Bueno, la de Transformers también, que es verdad, es que no sé, un poco raro. La 2 el principio sí me gustó, pero la 3 no me gustó, la uno no me gustó. La 2 me gustó al principio, pero esta 4 me está gustando todo. Y eso es bueno porque se nota que Fortnite al menos está trabajando en ello, ¿no? Y esperemos que hagan un buen evento y que no todo el dinero vaya para el creativo, que es lo que está ocurriendo. Y es lo que comenté ayer en el directo que hice de un vídeo de hiper y demás. Así que bueno, vamos a darle caña. Ya me callo ya. Pensaba que iba a ser el clásico, lo comenté ayer, Pero no, juega el Real Madrid contra el Sevilla. No sé por qué pensaba que el clásico era este fin de semana. Bueno, en realidad sí sé porque lo sé, porque armaron mucho revuelo por el tema de que el Barça iba a jugar con la publicidad de Rolling Stones. Pero bueno, en fin. Vale. Mira, vamos a chequear ahora mismo cuánto queda esta actualización. Estas notas del parche. Pase de batalla. 15 días. Vale. O sea, 15 días para la siguiente actualización. ¿Cómo? Uy, Griothesley. Griothesley, no sé cómo se pronuncia eso. Vale. Ya sabéis que los últimos directos de Genshin nos hemos dirigido hacia Fontaine. El último, bueno, pues ya habíamos llegado. Pero antes de ello quería explorar una zona que ahora os enseño en el mapa, que es previa a Fontaine, que está en el desierto de Sumeru, ¿no? Vamos a probar ahora Griothesley, ¿vale? Antes os enseño el mapa. Pero estaba esa zona de Sumeru antes que la propia zona de Fontaine, de la zona del agua, por cierto, llamado el mundo del agua al directo, por razones obvias, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, a mí me gustaría explorar todo esto, aún no he podido hacerlo, porque el tren ese me ha llevado directamente aquí. Entonces, bueno, cuando pueda explorar ya lo haremos, ¿vale? De momento vamos a ir directamente hacia la historia. Bueno, como sabéis, esto es el desierto de Sumeru, ¿vale? Pues toda esta zona... Espérate. Estoy pensando, ¿eh? Me parece que era desde aquí, ¿eh? Esto creo que no estaba... Sí, toda esta zona... Todo esto... No estaba disponible a la última vez que vine... Que jugué a Genshin, ¿vale? Porque habían pasado semanas, ya sabéis que dejamos de jugar más o menos en Navidad. Porque habíamos acabado toda la historia de Sumeru y estaba esperando a que saliera la historia de Fontaine para empezar de nuevo, que es lo que ha pasado. Entonces, bueno, yo creo que va a ser lo mismo. Yo creo que voy a hacer lo mismo. Voy a terminar toda la historia de Fontaine. Bueno, por cierto, ya sabéis que toda esta zona era lo que os estaba diciendo. Pero bueno, voy a esperar a que pase toda la historia de Fontaine para cuando lo termine, ya me volveré a meter a Genshin cuando metan Atlan, que me parece que es la siguiente zona, que es la de Piro, ¿vale? Entonces, pues eso, nos quedarían ya dos zonas. Tenemos Sumeru, que es la Dendro, tenemos Fontaine, que es la Hidro, tenemos Liyue, que es la Geo, tenemos Inazuma, que es la Electro, y tenemos Mondstadt, que es la Anemo. Entonces, bueno, si os acordáis también, después de que metieran Inazuma dije, bueno, es que esto lo estoy pensando ahora, porque yo empecé a jugar en 2020, en 2021, que me acuerdo, lo digo porque me acuerdo por las fechas, subí de la relaja teteras, el vídeo con más visitas de mi canal, tiene casi ya ahora 4000, ahora no sé cuántas tiene exactamente, de hecho voy a chequearlo, pero bueno, me acuerdo que todavía aún no había salido Inazuma, entonces a final de ese año, si no, bueno, creo que no en realidad, no fue a final de ese año, fue como en junio, porque a final de ese año estamos jugando a Red Dead Redemption, en 2021. Entonces, fue en la etapa esta de un poco junio, antes de ir, sí, junio-verano, ¿vale? Metieron Inazuma. Entonces, cuando eso fui, ya me había desplazado hacia Inazuma. Cuando terminó toda la historia de Inazuma y demás, que no me acuerdo cuándo la terminé, tiene 3000 visitas el vídeo de la relaje tetera, así que súper feliz por ello, me siento orgulloso. Tampoco es que sea un vídeo muy bueno, la verdad es que seguramente un buen creador de contenido de Genshin dirá, pues bueno, sin más, pero bueno, yo estoy orgulloso de ello. Y luego pues metieron el año pasado, eso sí me acuerdo, en 2022, toda la zona de la cima, bueno, la cima la metieron creo que justamente antes de que me fuera a Seattle, de 2022. Entonces me metí otra vez a Genshin a ver lo que se cocía y quise terminar toda la historia de lo que era de Inazuma, ¿no? Y dije, bueno, cuando metan Sumeru volveremos a jugar a Genshin. Y eso es lo que pasó. Más o menos en septiembre del año pasado, de 2022, dije, bueno, pues nos metemos y eso, y había hasta aquí. Y la última vez, en septiembre de 2023, es decir, hace, mira, os digo qué día empecé la serie de Genshin, esta temporada, vamos a llamarlo así, ¿no? Em, que por cierto, muchas gracias por el apoyo, Ibarvlogs, porque recibo unos comentarios que de verdad que no recibo, o sea, no merezco esto, de esa gente tan buena. Eh, Ibarvlogs también lo quería comentar. No lo estoy dividiendo oficialmente, pero es como si lo estuviera dividiendo, ¿no? Italia es como la temporada 1, San Diego y la Selva Negra es como la temporada 2.1 y 2.2. No sé, yo creo que está siendo bien. Y el siguiente verano va a ser espectacular, esa temporada 3 entre comillas, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, a lo que iba, que... a lo que iba, que me olvido. No, Star Wars no. ¿Qué estoy diciendo? Ah, lo de Jensen. Perdón, chicos, ¿eh? Empecé esta bueno, tercera temporada ya el 17 de septiembre, lo que decía. Hace un mes, más o menos. Sí, más o menos. ¿Vale? Entonces, bueno, vamos ahora a jugar. Yo dejo de parlotear y vamos a ello, ¿vale? Así que lo que vamos a hacer es ahora mismo seguir la historia. Cuando si me apetece explorar, ya os lo comentaré. Pero bueno, de todas estas zonas no voy a explorar, ¿vale? A no ser que tenga que subir cierto rango de aventura, entonces tengo que hacer un nivel de ascensión, entonces ya sería otro tema. Pero bueno, en ese caso ya lo hablaríamos, ¿vale? Así que bueno, de momento, como os digo, vamos a seguir la historia. Ve al lugar donde está Lini. A lo mejor, antes de seguir la historia... Bueno, iba a decir... Tenemos este TP, pues no sé por qué razón ahora mismo. Está un poco lejos, si no iba a decir, podemos ir ese estatua de los 7. Pero no vamos a ir, ¿vale? Así que vamos por aquí. Por cierto, lo he dicho antes y se me ha olvidado. Vamos a probar ese personaje nuevo. Vamos a ello. Porque Nada, toma, Dori. Julio Zeisley o como se llame. Vamos a por él. Pam, para, pa, pam, para, pam. Vale. Por cierto, bueno, esto lo había leído ya antes de irme a San Diego. Pero es al respecto de un nuevo equipo de la MLS que iba a ser con sede en San Diego y me sorprendió, la verdad. Y justamente hoy ha salido el escudo y eso me parece simplemente interesante, la verdad. Así que bueno, vamos ahora sí a darle caña. Jolín, macho. Esto sí. Perdón por hablar tanto hoy, pero bueno. No es que esté alargando el directo, que también podría ser, pero ya os digo que es para hacerlo más ameno. Porque tampoco está teniendo mucho éxito, así que al menos hablo yo solo y si lo veo en un futuro, que puede ser, diré, anda, pasaron todas estas cosas, LOL, pasaron todas estas cosas cuando era un poco más joven, wow, ¿cómo podía pasar esto? ¿Cómo hemos evolucionado como sociedad, no? Ah, también me va a servir para eso, un poco. ¿Pero qué utiliza? Utiliza como los puños. Estamos gilipollas. Vale, no tiene carga. Tiene como un puño. Me da uno a buena, Es como un puño, sí. Pero por lo que veo tiene la piel de papel, ¿eh?
Nice and spicy. Enhanced animal module 7. Don't break my glasses. Absorption test.
A moment, please. This could get a little chilly. Sorry.
Lo has matado. Está bien, pero lo que digo. Parece que es de putísimo papel.
Stand clear.
Vale, perfecto. Guay. Me llegó. Vale. No sé si tengo alguna misioncilla nueva. No, por aquí. Coño.
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go? I have some new friends that I would like to introduce.
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. I suppose that can't be helped. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine.
Está un poco
He is a phenomenal diver.
por lo que estoy viendo.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. Oh, you sound very proud to have a diver as a brother, Linny.
Linny, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me?
Hablen ustedes dos.
Okay, I see.
Creo que lo comenté en algún
Is
directo al
everything all
principio
right?
cuando empecé la serie, o sea, al principio del todo, o sea, en
Oh,
2020.
it's nothing.
Hay
We were
un
just
juego de mi
discussing a little
infancia de la
housework.
3DS que
Sorry for the
literalmente
interruption.
es mi infancia porque me gustaba mucho
Before
la
I
trama, los
forget, the
personajes
Traveler and I collected more
extraños que
materials
podía
to make
llegar a
magic
ver.
pockets. Were you able to get any,
Y
Fremine?
era Profesor Layton,
Yes, I
O sea,
went diving
si
and
habéis
gathered
jugado a
lots of
Profesor
materials.
Layton, no me
I was
digáis
about
que
to
el
give them to
estilo manga
That's
del
our
juego
Fremine,
no
always
recuerda
quick with
a
the
Genshin
underwater
Impact.
work.
Está claro que Genshin Impact
All right,
es en
I'll
3D,
take these to the
pero wow,
workshop.
Profesor Layton y el chaval, es que bueno, qué juego, qué música, de verdad eran buenísimos. Y es que no sé, tengo muchos recuerdos nostálgicos de aquello, ¿no? Hola, cachón, claro, mejora tus personajes XD. En
Looks
fin,
like rain.
estoy haciendo la historia.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago?
Hola, bienvenido.
Fontaine's weather sure is weird.
I'm
No
afraid
sé, la
that's
verdad
just
es
how it is
que
here. It
yo
often
a lo
rains
mejor
on days
tenía
where there are
muchísimos
trials
de
being
ellos.
held in the Opera House, but don't
Y
worry,
es que
it'll clear up
también
soon
luego los
enough.
rompecabezas había difíciles de cojones, que a lo mejor ni un físico puede sacar eso.
There's a
sea,
legend about the
no
rain that
sé,
I tend to
sí que se
believe.
pensaban, pero bueno,
It's
yo
said that a
no me lo
dragon of
pasaba en
water
grande
once
con
resided in
Profesor Layton,
Fontaine.
la verdad.
Though we
Era un
don't know
pedazo de
where the
juego.
dragon went,
Los juegos
every
que hay,
time it
vaya,
weeps,
no
the
sé,
skies will
son
cloud
muy,
up and
muy
pour out
chulos
rain.
todos. Y no sé, esas ganas
When I was a
de
child,
acabar
my
con el
mother told me that
rompecabezas
if
para
I
seguir
wanted to go
avanzando con
outside
la
and
historia,
play,
porque es
I should
realmente
yell toward the sky
entretenida,
at the
decir,
top of my
coño, quiero saber
lungs.
qué va a pasar al final del
Hydro
juego,
Dragon,
es lo
Hydro
que hacía
Dragon,
mejor
don't
a
cry.
Profesor Layton, la verdad. No sé, esto
If
era un
it's an
juego
elemental
eran
dragon, then
juegos
having the power
espectaculares.
to make it rain wouldn't be very unusual. Let Paimon try something.
Más o menos para que os orientéis en
Dragon, don't
torno
cry!
a ese juego con ese tipo anime, me refiero. Por ejemplo, Profesor Layton hablo también
Doesn't
de
seem
algo
to be of any
parecido a lo
use.
que
It is
era
just a legend after
Inazuma
all.
Eleven para la 3DS, ¿sabéis?
You know, you might be
A
a
ver,
more
no sé cómo
popular
es en
magician
la
if you
actualidad
understood the
para
concept
la
of
Switch, pero dudo
romanticism.
que
Or
tenga el
could at
estilo
least play a
gráfico de
role.
Genshin Impact de 3D.
Sorry, it might be
Y por
because we've
cierto,
never met the
algunos de
Hydro
vosotros
Dragon.
me habéis preguntado si
Perhaps it
voy
can't
a
be comforted
jugar
by the words of
a
strangers.
Honkai Rail. No lo voy a hacer, aunque sí me han dicho que hay veces que, o es incluso que mejor que Genshin,
It
pero es
rained for
que
longer than I
no creo que
suspected.
tenga el
Oh,
tiempo
it's already getting
para
late.
de mi vida para dedicarme a otro juego
Was
que
there something
necesite
you needed to do,
más de 3 años para terminar con él.
Yeah,
Entonces,
some
en fin.
preparations for the show at the Opera House.
Y nada, la
I need
verdad
to
es
find a way to catch
que
the last Aqua Bus of the day.
que eso,
On the day of
que
the
nosotros seguiremos
performance,
jugando
just ride the Aqua Bus
hasta
to
que
the
termine
island
el
of
juego,
Aeneas.
que espero
I'll
que
have
haya un
Lynette
final,
meet you
porque,
at the
o sea, de
fountain
cuando
in front of the
termine el
Opera
juego,
House.
porque si no
Oh,
tendríamos un pequeñín problema,
are you
y
leaving
es
now?
que si no tiene,
What is it, Fremine?
me
I'm in a
refiero, por
hurry.
ejemplo, que mi joyo le da
I
por
get
no
it.
tener un
You
final,
feel nervous
porque quiere
delivering the
sacar
materials
beneficio
for the magic
económico
pockets, is that it?
antes de
Perhaps we could
un final.
trouble
Por
the
ejemplo,
traveler to help us
Fortnite.
take these
Yo creo
materials
que
to the
Fortnite
Beaumont
nunca ha
workshop
tenido
and deliver
final
them to the owner
hasta
there.
el momento. Podría,
I'm
por,
afraid
podría,
that
por ejemplo,
Fremine can be
Fortnite haber
quite
terminado el
introverted.
lore,
And the boss
y
there
esto es
tends
yo
to be
creo, mi
pretty
opinión,
talkative.
cuando terminó el
Fremine has
capítulo
always
1,
been a little
si no
afraid of
hubieran
her.
metido lo de la isla nueva y demás, yo creo que lo de la isla nueva simplemente es para sacar más dinero y demás, pero podría haber terminado el juego en el
Sorry
capítulo
for the
1. Yo no quiero
inconvenience.
eso para
I'm quite
Genshin.
useless when
Yo
it
quiero que
comes to
cuando
such
salgan
tasks.
todas las zonas,
I'll think of a
termines
way
con
to make
todos
it up
los
to you.
de la Fatui y quizás pues un jefe final que sea muy difícil y todos felices, recuperas a tu hermana y demás. Yo quiero eso para el juego. Y luego pues que después del juego pues hay un postgame y, y eso. Pero no quiero que alarguen el final años. O también, bueno, eso también puede pasar a veces con series, ¿no? Yo creo que también Juego de Tronos, por ejemplo, alargaron muchísimo el final para lo que tenía, ¿eh? O La Casa de Papel, por ejemplo, no sé. O Élite, que desde luego Élite, madre mía. Voy a ir a coger la estatua de los 7, que por lo que veo está aquí arriba. Y así me la quito de encima. Sé que es ese edificio al que tengo que ir. Pero bueno, si puedo subir bien, si no, pues nada. Jolín. Perfecto. Distrito Nahoni. A ver, estoy viendo si puedo subir. Bueno, a lo mejor también me ha dado las vibes esas de Profesor Layton, porque el primer juego de Profesor Layton era en Francia, pero me parece. Así que... O en Italia, era como en un carnaval y demás. Tendré que ver algún gameplay de eso para recordar. O, ¿sabéis en qué juego estuve viendo gameplays? Acordándome, este verano, como fui a Disney, a Disneyland en California, dije, oye, me recuerda muchísimo, bueno, también cuando estuve en París, Lo había comentado con mis padres, pero ellos se las pelaba, la verdad. Pero bueno, yo simplemente lo comentaba como un chaval, sin comentarios. Si habéis jugado de la Wii, yo jugué de la Wii, claro. O sea, es que como Skylanders, qué pedazo de juego. No es Skylanders el juego que me estoy refiriendo ahora mismo, ¿eh? Pero, por ejemplo, Skylanders es el típico juego de la Wii que dices, coño, es literalmente mi infancia. Pero bueno, a lo que iba. Hay un juego de Disney que se llama Epic Mickey, que es buenísimo. Incluso a veces puede llegar... me va- Incluso puede llegar a veces a ser incluso tétrico. O sea, tienes que terminar con una... no sé cómo explicarlo. Tienes que terminar básicamente con un problema que se ha creado con una mancha y tú tienes que utilizar pintura y cosas que no son pintura para terminar con el problema. Y bueno, está muy guapo porque el mapa es literalmente Disneyland y eso lo hace pues súper nostálgico si vas a Disney, obviamente, o si has estado en Disney. Y no sé, a mí me parece un bastante buen juego para aquella época. Pero bueno, no sé, a lo que iba, que este verano estuve viendo gameplays de este juego por mera nostalgia y dices, hostias, lo bien que me lo pasaba, ¿eh? Así que no sé, y eso, y que al final yo creo que a lo mejor me veo algún gameplay de Profesor Layton, ya veré. Vale, está aquí el TP. Vale. Condado de la Corte de Fontaine. Condado Rocío Blanco. ¿Son todos condados o qué? Shire, no sé, como algo en Inglaterra, ¿no? A ver. Puedo mirarlo. No, aquí simplemente es como por zonas. Me parece interesante eso. Esto, claro, esto es Japón. En Japón hablamos de regiones por islas. Esto, pues hablamos por zonas naturales y más. Bueno, que son como zonas más medievales, ¿no? Esto es, pues, es una China más medieval. Esto es, no sé, como es mesopotámico, no sé qué decir, la verdad. Y, y esto, pues eso, es condados. Me recuerda a Inglaterra, Francia. Algo ya más tarde de la Edad Media. No sé si tengo. ¿Qué va? Vale. Ya está, era simplemente para ver eso. No sé si habrá algún tipo de ascensor, pero debería.
Hello? Is there anyone here?
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or perhaps you're just looking for a chat with me.
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making... what were they called again?
Ah, these must be for Magic Pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth now. No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems both their hearts and their pockets are made of gold.
Whoa. So, is Linny actually loaded?
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe there's good money to be made being a magician in Fontaine.
Hey! Is this machine what you use to make stuff here? It looks really advanced.
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology. And wasting is a kind of crime.
But where does a big machine like that get its power from?
Well, it's a little complicated. I'm not sure I can put it in layman's terms for you. But basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced from trials.
Huh? How can trials produce energy?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details myself, but basically, when a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the Oratrice was created by the Archon to make judgments. But Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines? Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn it into power for all of Fontaine, right?
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, it sounds like it makes sense. Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it still cannot be widely used by civilians.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a few words with me.
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month? Why are you hounding me now?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today. Wait, no, 70%.
Huh? You...
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the material.
Hey, hold on. Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month. Why are you hounding me now?
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too. What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to
Otra
stay
vez
in this
Tartaglia.
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now. And honestly, things have been
¿Os
pretty
acordáis la que
boring.
nos lo dio este
But it
tío
seems that
o su
fate brought
alter
our
ego
paths together today.
en
Not
el
only will
UE?
I have
Madre
some
de
good
Dios,
friends
ese
here
boss
now,
final,
but
madre
ones who
mía.
always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right, Traveler?
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there for a while?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you catch up with your friends? Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine. Why don't you come and take it?
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice fishing, Tusser said,
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys, let's see who has to pay up now!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients. You're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
I'm sure this won't take long.
Epa, espérate, que estaba mirando una cosa en el móvil. Un segundo, que si no se me lía. Vale, vamos.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Genial, o sea...
No time to lose.
Buah, hace mucho tiempo que no disparo con arco en este juego. ¡Hostia! Me estás jodiendo, Es que hace mucho tiempo que no juego con esto. Con arcos en este juego. Es que pésimo jugada, la verdad. Se ha bugueado.
What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank? Wait, don't tell me you're...
Oh, now you notice.
Bueno, ahora ya
It's a little
sabemos,
late,
pero bueno,
don't you
yo creo que
think?
estaba claro también,
Just make sure you
que
understand
Snaya
that you
va a estar en el
don't
norte,
mess
al
with
final.
Northland Bank.
Es claro,
Got
porque
it?
Snaya es el mundo del hielo, ¿no?
Huh?
Now's my chance!
En cuanto más al norte, más frío hace. Tiene sentido.
Huh. That was weird.
O incluso cuanto más al sur, ¿no? A ver, depende de qué zona
I'm not sure. It's as if I
del
suddenly
hemisferio
lost
estés.
control of my
En el
hydro powers
hemisferio
when I
norte,
needed
cuanto
them.
más al norte habrá más frío.
Maybe
En
there's something wrong with
cuanto
my
más
vision?
al sur habrá más calor, porque estás más cerca de
How
Ecuador.
did that happen?
Pero si es el
First
hemisferio
time
sur,
I'm
pues es al
uncovered of
revés.
someone
Y cuanto
losing
más al
control of
norte
their
habrá
vision.
más calor y más al frío, o sea, más al sur, más frío.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? And don't say it's work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself. But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. And I don't know why, but every now and then I feel like I'm in a terrible mood.
Maybe you losing control of your vision just now is connected with that
Losing
power you're
control.
feeling inside.
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before. But
Ya
when I was
paso de leer
14,
las dos opciones
I
que
fell
tenga,
into some unknown
y simplemente
abyss.
estoy dejando las
It was
conversaciones
during
porque
that time I
hay que
learned
hacer
nearly
tiempo.
all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named
Literalmente
Sker.
podría parecer París,
She was always
a
quiet
ver,
and
no
very
esas
mysterious.
infraestructuras tan
Nobody knew where she
extrañas,
came
pero las
from
casas y
or what
demás
she
sí,
had been
porque
through.
esas tejas
And she was always very
negras,
strict when teaching me
esos
combat
típicos
techniques. One time, I
las
asked her
cosas
why
estas
she was
para
willing
tapar
to
la
take
lluvia
me
de
on
los
as an
bares, de los
apprentice.
bulevares, ¿no?
From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be useful in the future.
But what is it? What did you awaken?
She never explained that, but my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that seemed to leap at us. Is that the one?
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? So why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she knows the answer.
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm out of Oh, seems the time
What?
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Official champion duelists? You mean it's their job to duel?
Yep, in Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official champion duelist. The champion duelists are all powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best, and the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight with no specified stopping point. So engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial. And the worst-case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine. Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clorinde, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally agreed to face me today.
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before. Clorinde. Huh.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have this.
Huh? Your vision? You're seriously just giving it away?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be
bueno,
pretty
claro.
upset if it got in the way of my
¿Os acordáis cuando se volvió
duel?
incontrolable lo
So,
que
I
se
think I'll be
comentaba en el
better
youtuber?
off without it for now. Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I have some time later.
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't you?
Whatever gave you that idea? I'll be in touch later.
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever to Paimon. Well, seems we don't have much to do for now. We might as well walk around and see the city before Lenny's performance. Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer all along! Sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. Paimon never saw that twist coming. The murder mystery novels here are amazing! The whodunits here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light novels you see from Yai
¿Veis? Aquí
Publishing
ya
House.
están mezclando
Both have their
Francia con un poco
merits,
con Reino
but
Unido.
Paimon thinks this
Porque
style
era lo
of
que estaba
novels
diciendo, al
are
final el
more,
profesor Layton
well,
es
novel.
como un Sherlock
It's so
Holmes,
exciting
¿vale?
to reach the
Entonces,
moment
bueno,
when the
esto
mystery
ya de
is
investigar,
uncovered,
pues me recuerda
especially
también
in
más
the
al
one
profesor
part.
Layton y demás
Sorry
a todo lo
about
que
that.
tenía ese tipo de
Paimon,
arte.
hey.
Y en profesor Layton más,
Shouldn't we
creo
get
que
into the
el uno
opera
al
house to
menos,
see
me acuerdo de jugarlo, basado en Londres, super steampunk y demás. Es que, no sé, me parece muy interesante. Bien, a las... en la Aqualínea. Vale, vamos. Aquí está el TP que estaba buscando antes. ¿Por dónde se sube, tío? What the fuck? Muchas moderneces, pero luego no hay escaleras para ir a los sitios. Vale, vamos, voy a intentar ir por ahí. Porque si no, en fin. Creo que me va a quedar sin estamina. Uy, no, 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 no. Menos mal. Voy a esperar a que cargue toda esa estamina. Por cierto, ya hace unos... Bueno, desde... Yo creo que es desde la semana que empecé a jugar a Genshin. O si no, una semana más tarde. No juego a Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Es que me da pereza, ponerme a explorar y a jugar y demás. Pero bueno, le llevaba ya una buena viciada. A lo mejor llevaba ya 20 y pico horas, Vale. No voy a llevar eso, espérate. Voy a intentar subir por este lado. Tío, qué complicado. Joder. ¿Estás más solo? ¿A qué te refieres? Salte. No va. No puede. Joder, match.
Ready, steady, go!
Hola, Black. Por ahí no se sube, que por dónde se sube, es que no sé qué por dónde tengo que ir, me estoy poniendo nervioso. Macho, lo siento si estoy sacando espuma por la boca, pero no sé por dónde se sube. A ver, voy a intentar subir por aquí y ir planeando. Porque de verdad que me estoy poniendo nervioso. No me está gustando la ciudad, o sea, la fontaine es bonito, tiene así todo de agua, no sé qué, pero la ciudad me está poniendo muy nervioso. Vamos por aquí, ya está. Tendría que haber subido por aquí la primera vez y ya estaba. Porque madre mía, tío. Ahora tengo que ir arriba de este edificio. Un edificio que no tiene escaleras, así que es simplemente un puerto. Qué nervioso. Y ahora no se podrá abrir este ascensor, ¿verdad? Sí, nada más. Gracias. No sé cuál es la planta. Va a coger la primera planta, supongo. En fin. Ya lo veo. He bajado, ¿verdad? He bajado, me cago en la leche. Ay. Y ahora que me he pasado, pero bueno, la cuarta. Vale. Es la tercera, cachón. Ah, no es la cuarta, pero... ¿Dónde es, tío? No, es la tercera. Te voy a reventar. Te voy a reventar. Espera, ve a las líneas en la acualínea Navía. Súbete al bote y habla con Melusina. Vale. No sabía qué tenía que hacer. Gracias. Melusina. El fan, pero si esta no es... Hola. Ya sale, gracias. Qué nervioso me pone esta región, ¿eh?
I am Elfan. The boat will be departing imminently. Please do not stick your head, hands, or other body parts outside the boat. The Aquabus operator is not responsible for any accidents or injuries resulting from doing so.
Me ponen muy nervioso estas ciudades,
The destination of the current tour is Arenias. Points of interest worth visiting include the Fountain of Lucine and the Opera Epiclus.
Va a pillar ese
If you
teleport
look to the left in the direction we are currently traveling, you
antes de
will see
bajar.
the famous Fontaine Research Institute
Hola,
up in the
bienvenido,
sky.
que se venga,
An experiment gone wrong
pues está
turned
aquí
a
abajo.
new
Ah, sí, está aquí
sightseeing
abajo.
opportunity.
Pues cuando, en su
Ingenuity
momento,
truly
cuando
is a
ya quiera
wondrous
explorar,
thing.
ya iré pillando todos los TPs, ¿vale? Pero eso ya será según mi propia decisión. Así que si queréis ir siguiendo la serie, ya sabéis, podéis suscribiros, activar la campana y demás. Y podéis ver toda la serie que está en la lista de reproducción que se ha ido subiendo.
We are now
Dani,
approaching
¿cómo te
our
podría
final
spoilear la
destination. Please
historia?
be sure to bring all your personal belongings
¿Explorar
with
te
you as
exploras?
you disembark.
A ver, más o menos. Mi
Even
exploración
though
es
I will
básicamente
take any
pillar
forgotten items to
TPs,
lost and found,
estos de los
the
7.
paperwork is rather annoying, as
Realmente
mousy hands are not
explorar
suitable
tampoco
for
es mucho.
grasping pens.
¿Qué? Dana
Please be
Miguel.
careful when disembarking. It has been my honor to be your tour guide this trip.
Si tus
Thank you.
personajes no le dan daño. Bueno, da igual. Gracias, amigo. Fontaine te da la bienvenida. Vale. De hecho, tengo un montón de experiencia acumulada para subir el rango de hacer la ascensión, pero no la he hecho. Y de hecho creo que tengo un nivel de mundo bajado. Mierda. Sí, de hecho creo que lo tengo bajado. Pero bueno. En fin. Voy a pedir el TP. Está interesante el juego. Black, ¿nunca habías jugado el juego o qué? Pues el juego es de 2020, si no recuerdo mal. ¿Qué es esto? ¡Hala! Eso debe ser un hidróculo. Ah. Solo se pueden coger los hidróculos así. Eso parece un boss. No, de hecho es un boss. No voy a ir. Y esto es la ópera. Sin Camp Crosses. No. Pues la verdad es que no es que sea poco famoso, ¿eh? El juego es de 2020 y yo llevo jugando a él, pues eso, desde 2020. Y si quieres ver un poco más de la historia y demás, porque estamos aquí, pues simplemente tienes que seguir la lista de reproducción. Eso es un boss, destruye cráneos. Terrible. ¿Que el boss es terrible o que yo soy terrible? Bueno, yo sé que soy terrible como jugador, pero bueno. Bueno, son dos. LOL.
Whoa! Now this is fancy! The opera at Eclairs. What a place to hold a performance! No wonder Linny and Lynette were looking forward to it. Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child. We pray.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine. There sure are a lot of couples here.
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything. Are you hearing things?
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's customary for newlyweds to come here and wish for children.
Ah! Lynette! You scared Paimon! When did you get here?
Lenny asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you? Besides, it's the middle of the day. It's not the time for eerie things.
I see. I might be able to tell you something that could help explain the voice you heard. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element. Others in my family have had similar experiences.
It's because of his sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with elemental power?
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Just answer me. When do you cry?
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh, and also when Paimon's really, really scared.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather here. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? Huh. If you were hearing their emotions, then Paimon wonders what happened to them.
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first. Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance. So chatting with Linny might help him relax a little before he goes on stage.
Oh, right. That makes sense. Let's go in and see Linny.
Traveler and Paimon, good to see you. I knew you two would come.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world. We've been looking forward to it.
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived. But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house. Wait just a moment. I'll fetch the tickets. The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats, and here are your tickets.
Ooh, front row seats! Thanks, Linny!
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Linny! Could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a hand.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Linny. Oh, these should be our seats. Come on, let's sit down. Hey, Traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still. It's kinda awkward if we don't... Oh, you little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down. Wait, that's not it, Paimon's. Sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. Let's talk. Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Linny's too?
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny then? Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon nearly forgot to make her introduction. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat. And as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervillet? Could he be...
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to. There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise, she may become flustered.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Paimon's never seen a real live magic show before! Ooh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing!
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member.
La ópera es tan grande y hay
Please,
tan
if my
pocos
assistants
espectadores,
could bring
en
out the
plan
magical
asientos,
boxes
tío.
now. There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow! How's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate.
Eso suena que va a elegir a alguien que le va a hacer el truco.
Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the fortress of
se hace un festival
Meraki.
internacional de magia que es buenísimo.
Oh, okay.
Me estoy acordando de esto.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch-black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice together. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 58.
60, 59, 58!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52? Huh? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just enjoy the show.
Oh, alright. You looked so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something. 40, 39, 38!
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, mid-air right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's worried about it. 25! 24! 23!
What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't tell left from right.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
19! 18! 17!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's alright. I know it can be tiring to do such a long countdown. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one?
Ahora comento una cosa.
Can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
Que iba a decir que cada vez se nota más que la gente de mi joyo se curra mejor las cinemáticas, O sea, me parece increíble las
You're
cosas que
going to
hacen
use
ya.
magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the God of Justice.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead.
No.
His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance. And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that badly? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
Oh, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your
Es
assistants,
estúpida, pero
is he not?
seguramente su
Now that
ayudante
I
era su
think
amiga.
about it, that whole speech speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
That can't be right. How can Lenny do this? He was in the box on the stage the entire time. We can even hear his voice. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances.
Sí, creo que lo comenté antes.
Save discussion for a later
a la
time,
película de
please.
Nolan.
Lady Farina, may I assume that your
buena.
comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes is the opponent I'll be facing. That's right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Lenny, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met. Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met. But with Lenny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here, on the grandest of stages, the Opera Epiclese.
Huh. It wasn't a draw. She obviously lost last time.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big-shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite looking forward to hearing it.
Lenny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer?
No, yo creo que no.
Good to hear. Thank you so much for trusting me. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But, if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left is confusion. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not, and I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting on you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Ah, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can go investigate the stage and the seating areas.
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case! Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive!
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but we've known each other for a little while.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence. Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
A través del expediente de caso puede revisar las pruebas y pistas recabadas hasta el momento y recapitular la información. ¿Os acordáis antes que veíamos lo del tema de los casos? En eso yo os comentaba lo de otra vez, lo de el profesor Layton. Pues aquí volvemos porque parece ser que a lo mejor tenemos que hacer de detectives nosotros ahora, de saber lo que ha ocurrido con este tema y demás. Así que me parece cuanto menos interesante y creativo por parte de mi joyo. También puedes consultar las pruebas y pistas, vale. Informe de la guardia. Datos de la víctima, bueno, pues lo hemos visto perfectamente lo que ha pasado, o sea, tampoco... Cowell era uno de los ayudantes del grupo... Bueno, era un ayudante, no era la chica, Vale, pues ya estamos aquí en este modo detective, ¿no? Pues vamos a ponernos a investigar. Un segundo, antes de eso voy a mirar cuánto llevamos ya de directo. Llevamos 1 hora y 40, vale. Cuando llegué a las 2 horas más o menos quería hacer una pequeña pausa, que tengo hambre y voy a ir a por comida. ¿Qué cojones le pasa a Paimon? Vale. Me parece que está aquí, ¿no? Debería estar aquí, vaya. Cargos. Gracias. Guía. Ah, no, aquí no. Espérate un segundo, es que no sé dónde tengo esta cocina nueva. Puntos destacados de la versión, amigos. A ver, espérate. Creo que está en mi inventario a lo mejor. Perfecto. Ver.
Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand. Whoever the murderer, why would it be him?
Vale, pues vamos a ver lo que ocurre. Supongo que por trabajar como detective te darán alguna recompensa y demás. Es interesante.
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall. The rope looks pretty durable.
Es bastante ridículo ver a Paimon así.
By fireworks.
En general, es un personaje ridículo.
Why are you suddenly so serious, traveler? Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then that means... Wait! Why don't you write all this down? Let's take notes!
Vale. Maurice.
Hello there! What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently considered... I'm suspects. The investigation team is still collecting evidence. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The magic troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact us. It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Vale. Quentin. En Alemania
The
con
investigation team has some new findings.
Quentin.
Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time.
Lo que os dije.
I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Even though it's bad for Linny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
Vale. Perfecto.
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me, all right?
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it. And I'll start it with that loud thud.
The thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank, or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
That does remind Paimon, though.
Lenny's still talking to the guards. It seems he'll have a lot of explaining to do. I think someone will be assigned to
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Huh?
Hola, bienvenido directo, que enseña bienvenido.
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
Vale.
Though those who play
Literalmente
by our
cualquier persona que
rules
vive en
call me
Mónaco.
boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Qué voz tan varonil.
Boss? Mademoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No, no need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too! That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she? But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro-Archon.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times. But liking her doesn't... Alright, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer
tenía
mine.
el pelo corto en primera instancia, pero ahora que lo he visto eso...
Well, I say it does. But don't worry. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat
Me
a trial
recuerda a
like
la
it's an
amada de
opera?
Mark Evans. El pelo.
Well...
And why would that be? See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I, too, think that the Traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. You pass with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
Wait! Oh, that's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations.
Vale, busca pistas.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here, at least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then, either.
How can you be so sure,
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which
Este debe
was
ser
quite a
de la
shame.
raza
Just
de
my
bicho que
luck.
nos contó Cachón cuando lo cogimos
I
el
did not
ferribus.
abandon my post, and I stayed
No me
put
acuerdo
no
cómo se
matter
llamaba.
how
Voy a
loud the
mirarlo.
applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave.
La melusina.
We Melusines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
No sé si serán todas mujeres.
Safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This will be useful info.
Vale.
We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Siguen hablando.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good.
¿Cuánto queda
Thanks
del
for-
caso? Vale, esto tenemos todo, al menos de la ópera. Vale. Quedan unos 5 todavía.
Being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
Lo estaba
You've
pensando ahora también en relación al número de suscriptores que tengo en Instagram y los seguidores que tengo. O sea, el número de suscriptores que tengo en YouTube y el número
If you've got a problem,
de seguidores que
I've
tengo
got
en
the
Instagram.
firepower.
Todo lo que tengo...
I
A
got
ver,
a little carried away
seguidores
there.
tengo menos en Twitter que
Call me Nadia.
en YouTube.
I'm a
pero
partner
bueno,
of
ahora
theirs, and we'll be
tenemos
helping
este problema
investigate this
de que,
whole
bueno, ambas plataformas en
situation.
realidad lo tienen ahora,
And these are my
de que no están en su mejor
Would you mind
momento.
if they join as
Pero
well?
en
Fine by
Twitter
me.
llegué a tener
Oh, new
14.000
helpers? I
visitas
would be most
en un
grateful.
tweet que subí esta
just say
semana,
we're
Pero
tagging
bueno, el
along.
que más ha tenido en
It's
un
not
parece
every
que son
day you get to see
26.000,
the secrets
30.000
behind
por
magic
un tweet
performed
que
on
puse
such
sobre
a
Elizabeth
large scale.
Olsen, una serie que
I
hizo,
appreciate your kind interest.
que hizo un
Come with me.
personaje,
We'll be heading below
una asesina
stage.
que lo hizo muy bien. Pero bueno, esos son 3.000 visitas aquí en YouTube.
Yes,
Pero es
a
que en
world of
Instagram
secrets is
tengo un
hidden
reel del
beneath
año
this magic
pasado
box,
que tiene
prepared
4.000 visitas.
specifically
O
for
sea,
this
me parece
switcheroo
también bárbaro.
trick. But before I reveal everything, you
Y
should have a
además
look
tengo
first.
más
Notice anything
seguidores en
strange
Instagram
here?
que en YouTube. Y no sé si lo comenté, me parece que sí, porque yo creo que más o menos igualé el número de seguidores que tengo en Instagram con
I'm not
los
trying to be
suscriptores que tengo en YouTube
dramatic.
este año, en
Remembering the
2023,
details of a
porque
trick
este
will
año
help you
subió
understand the
muchísimos
methods used to
seguidores.
perform it
Tema
more
San
easily.
Diego, pues los españoles, brasileños. Luego cuando me
balloons
fui a
and other
Alemania hay
decorations here?
muchísima gente.
Where
los
did all that
españoles como
go?
alemanes. Y luego al principio del
good
año pues
eye.
tuvimos un
That
torneo
said,
en
you're
mi
still
ciudad
far from
de
discovering the
balonmano,
answer.
que te lo dejé, y viene un equipo sueco y bueno, pues al final socializas con la gente
Very good
así creció
indeed.
muchísimo.
The back of this door was patterned. Those
Y mucha
patterns are
fiesta
now
también.
gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board.
Entonces eso.
So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
Bueno, eso estaba claro, ¿no?
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place.
A ver, esto por
The two
ejemplo
magic
en la
boxes
película
are
de Nolan no
positioned right
ocurre
above
porque
the
el
two
mago no quiere
entrances of
revelar
the
sus
tunnel.
trucos, entonces, bueno,
See this flatbed trolley?
ética de la magia la que tiene que ver la justicia y demás.
The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who.
Claro, claro.
And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow! Every detail you revealed was more amazing than the—
Lynette would
Obviamente
briefly
son
walk out of the
magos.
box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could
Cuando
finish
me
ascending.
pueda mover otra vez
And
libremente
then
voy a ir a
I
por algo
walk
de
out of the
picar,
other
¿vale?
box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Vale. Vale. Vale, creo que ya hemos terminado el caso. Ah, no, creo que nos falta más. Wow, aquí hay bastantes cosas.
What's this?
looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps
De
it
momento me
was a
está
prop
pareciendo
for a different
interesante
trick.
el lore de Fontaine con todo este tema de los magos, que lo hace diferente a los demás, es simplemente pelear, meterte en una mazmorra, no sé qué, visita la ciudad, que al final lo hace un poco más aburrido. En Mondstadt pues pasa eso, que tienes que irte hasta la colina esta y te metes en la mazmorra. En Inazuma pues pasa eso, que al final llegas a la ciudad y vas conociendo un poco. En Liyue no pasa eso porque Liyue está un poco más alejado de cuando es la entrada por Mondstadt. Y en Sumeru pues al final es mucho parloteo. La verdad es que el lore de Sumeru tampoco lo entendí mucho porque hice mucho skip, pero bueno, tampoco le di mucha importancia. Y además, cuando haga la parada esa, que va a ser no dentro de mucho, voy a ir al baño, a cagar.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right?
Y por cierto, al respecto del tema del chico que desapareció, lo había hablado el fin de semana pasado y me parece que lo hablé ayer también. Al final, un tema muy complicado. Yo todavía no sé exactamente lo que pasó, pero el chaval no debía estar muy bien porque parece lo que hizo. En fin, o sea, no digo que estuviera loco, digo que a lo mejor estaba nervioso, yo qué sé. Pero obviamente no estaba en su mejor momento. Aquí no hay más. Como me hagan volver al túnel, me cago en todo. Mira, me hacen volver al túnel. Pues no sé.
What is this place?
Un conducto de
It
ventilación.
seems someone could fit through here.
Alone, perhaps.
But there are no other ways in or out. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon. Since we're just about done investigating down here.
Vamos.
Yes, let's head back up.
Si hay una conversación arriba, no me paro. Si no la hay, me paro.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns.
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal...
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the guards have checked the area.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then.
No wonder for...
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld.
Charges and then...
That's right. This is how a trial goes. That's right. This is the statements from both... To put it simply...
This also precludes any kind of...
Once both sides, then... Fine.
Huh?
In practice, there is very little...
Tenemos ya mucha información. Nos quedan algo, un par de cosas más y del túnel.
Always come to the same judgment. Yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be... Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That...
They're concerned that we... And even if that were...
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa!
Of course. I just hope you...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings to... I mean, what better way to...
breaking out suddenly. Just kidding, just kidding. Paimon?
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course.
Huh? Here?
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselles.
I have eggs, sugar, and...
These three
Qué
are
bueno.
quite the...
La verdad es que sí. No es que sean raritos, es que son pijos.
And
Qué
Paimon, that
buenos.
from the way you had these two guys carrying all that, but you ended up doing the...
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouragement.
Don't underestimate. Anyway.
Only through...
Well, eat...
Tea is ready to be served as well. No need for...
All right, then. However, a magician twin...
Exactly! Why would they do so?
The flower vase and the thud, resulting in the shadow...
Eso no me interesa
the
porque al
criminal.
final simplemente están especulando y no está nada alrededor del caso,
True,
entonces lo voy a
but-
escuchar.
Could Halsey...
That's right. And even if she had to, nor does she have...
From the sound of things, your macarons are... What?
Please don't worry about it. At my...
No! Besides, Paimon knows that if she... Wait! Even you don't believe... If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons...
All right, Malus, set up the...
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons.
Exactly!
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg...
Well, that's it for snack time. I don't know what it would be. Oh,
Alright, thanks for...
it was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything.
La posibilidad de una tercera persona, vale. Pues podría ser. Espera el juicio el siguiente día. Vale, voy a hacer la pausa aquí. Voy a ir al baño. Y voy a ir a por algo de comer y me lo traigo aquí a donde está haciendo el stream, ¿vale? Entonces, voy a... Ahora mismo vuelvo, ¿vale? Voy a ponerlo por aquí por si alguien viene y ve que está todo parado. Vale. Entonces, bueno, no os preocupéis. Piripipam. Como digo, me está gustando, la verdad. Estamos ahora mismo de vuelta. Vale, pues ya estamos de vuelta. No sé cuánto tiempo he estado haciendo lo que quería hacer. A ver, ahora. Creo que se escucha perfecto. 2910. 29. 8. He estado como 10 minutos fuera, ¿vale? Entonces, en fin. Vale. Pues vamos allá. Seguimos con la que tenemos que hacer. Voy a bajar la voz, que si no me rayo conmigo mismo. Ok, let's go. Espera el juicio. Podría haber dejado esto así, la verdad, para que pasara el tiempo, pero bueno. Ahora ya da igual. All the crazy shit that I did tonight. Al día siguiente. ¿Esto qué es entonces? Joder, macho. No. Ah, bueno, ahora puedo hacer esto. Es que me sonaba que antes no podía. Así está el juicio. Vale, pero el juicio no será aquí, ¿no?
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette,
Lo
at
siento
least
si
you will be
os
supporting them
molesto
from the
mientras me
stands.
estoy... De hecho me va a mutear por una falta de respeto.
Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye.
Qué mal me cae, qué estúpida, qué ser más estúpido, te lo juro.
Smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
¿Por qué ahora se pone esto así? ¿Qué se creen que es esto?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatsui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
Otro de los fucking Fatui.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny! Why didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true? Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry.
No.
Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
¿Cómo?
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Sí, súper divertido. Qué asco de tipa, te lo juro.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad!
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Mierda, se me terminó la batería del mando, estoy cambiándolo. Mientras seguimos ahí con la historia. Testimonio de la... Vale. Ok, pues cada vez se vuelve un poco más interesante. Prosigue con el juicio, pero llévame directamente, capullo. No sé cuántos juicios habrá en Fontaine, pero no está mal. Pero si es tan largo, a lo mejor es un poco coñazo.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
O sea que yo tengo que hacer el juicio.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
En primer lugar, Lani llegó al túnel cuando la cuenta regresiva del público comenzó. Vale, eso sí es verdad. Hasta el momento todo correcto.
When the flatbed trolley passed,
Eso
he
ya no-
opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the
Podría
opera
ser,
house,
pero
which
bueno,
is
yo no
why
me
he
lo creo
claimed
como su
earlier
abogado.
that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linney red-handed. So Linney proceeded to knock him
Sí, luego
afterward.
que lo tiró.
Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating...
Claro, claro.
And there you have it. That's the truth.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events.
¿Por qué tenemos
What
voz
Linney
ahora?
experienced
Si durante todo el juego no lo
and
hemos
saw.
tenido. ¡Ah! Que lo tengo que buscar yo.
Seems this won't. Seems this won't.
Genial, tío. Tengo que ir probando todos. Vale, de ahí no puedo refutar nada.
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the...
Vale.
Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core.
Vale. ¿Es bobo o qué?
Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed...
Attention! Ace Detective
Vale.
Paimon has
Es
something
interesante,
to say.
¿no? Como hacen estos juicios. Como digo, no sé cuántos juicios habrá durante la historia, cuántos juicios va a haber en Fontaine.
When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement. Once he reached that area, the crime scene had already developed by the... Finally, he reached...
Vale. ¿Y ahora qué?
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Wasn't it awesome?
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell them! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or... This means that when the crime happened, The same clue you...
To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who
Es lo que
was
estábamos
it?
intentando saber. Vale, tío, pero...
The deceased's name is Cowell. Linny's assistant. Halsey is the missing person. Could there have been a third person?
Yo creo que es la tercera parte. No. Pues...
The deceased's name is Cowell.
That can't be right.
Sí, sí.
The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning then.
Oye, esto no
What I
es una
must do
historia
next
de...
is recreate
de
the
Agatha
truth.
Christie, ¿eh?
What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Joder.
No one entered or... The deceased's name is Cowell. Halsey's clothing was in the The sound we heard may have... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave up... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
Mierda.
It would have been tough
Ah,
for
bueno, pues no
both
lo he hecho mal. Coño.
No one entered or
What's wrong, Traveler?
Look, since we're at a dead end, just like the trick as it transpired, the end result
Que no
must
tenía
have been
pruebas,
utterly
vaya.
different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Un momento. ¿Qué quieres pensar ahora?
Linny was not in the tunnel at... The sound we heard may have come from... The deceased's name is Cow...
¿El jarrón roto?
The vase was not broken by chance. It was...
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving... If there's a zip...
How could a person ever be tripped? Magic tricks are...
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately.
Ooh.
The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Vale. ¿Y ahora qué tiene que ver esto? Bueno, obviamente me llevo la... Es verdad, el gancho.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another mat. The rope that held the water tank up was lit by... The deceased's name is Cowell. I remember there was... Lynette was in the magic box on stage. The water from the primordial...
O sea que el agua esa no tenía que ver.
The deceased's name is... The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and... I remember there was some... The deceased's name is Cow... The water from the primordial...
Está muy bien si quieres practicar tu lógica, pero al final si ya no se está haciendo largo, ¿eh?
Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely
Esa debe ser la versión
accused
buena de
innocent
este puta mierda de personaje, ¿no?
What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
Joder.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent.
Vale.
Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to... Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward... Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence. Is this the end of it?
Oh no. Paimon can't think of anything either. Seems using the...
I think we've all seen enough now. I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout, and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
Como la gente de mi joyo lo sabe perfectamente. Me parece que ya vemos 3 horas en directo. Puede ser. Bueno, faltan 5 minutos.
Right before your very eyes.
Vale.
Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
But what in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
Vale.
And voila.
Voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey?
So vale.
The whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
No es falso, simplemente...
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
Vale.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin?
La intuición de la tipa esta,
I'm sorry.
¿Cómo?
I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's
Ya,
Lily,
la verdad es que no
and
tiene
I'm
pinta de
originally from
fantasma.
Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief! Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything
O sea que
pretty
fue un
clear now,
accidente, pero...
This time, we need to tell the entire...
Vale.
Sim...
Vale, tío. El último. Vale, ninguno.
The strange sound, what?
Calla la boca.
Lillian was... The flower...
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of her panic
Bueno, todo lo que ha contado la tipa esa, así que lo voy a skipear.
He did not know that mistakenly believed the two broke the with no way of escape.
Perfecto. Muy bien. Espero que no haya más juicios durante la historia, porque hoy tenemos tiempo para estar enrollando, no sé, pero a lo mejor otro día, pues no. Entonces, en fin, ha estado bien, pero para una vez.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting.
At this point, all the bravo.
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements?
No.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow. Look at that. She's like a deflated...
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the photo. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowl, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery
Cállala
caused
de
me
boca.
to make a serious mistake.
I suspect that the... I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly!
O sea, es el
Unless you
tercer...
want to earn yourself a...
La tercera persona.
We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Lynn.
And now that your plan... Therefore, you...
Yes, our boss discovered that the water can cause people to It can also be made... We've been in this...
LOL.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
¿Es en serio esto?
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Linny.
I know you may not want to speak to me, but still. I guess. I didn't
asco que
approach
sea
you
un
with any
fato
ulterior
La
motive.
verdad,
As for
era un
why,
tipo más.
that was how Father, who you might know as the...
The knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were
Vale.
left wandering the streets. To
Esto me
survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me, and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days.
Pero esta
But
familia...
I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just after one particular performance at a banquet. I discovered that Lynette... I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was... She caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant...
Oh no. But what if Fontaine...
As far as outsiders are concerned, I managed to ferret out the location. All I saw was...
So, she'd already taken...
That's right. I mean, the House of the Hearth, well, I was hesitant, but she was also...
So that...
por una mero hecho de decir, joder, me han ayudado, pues ahora voy a ser...
That's right. Today's case has all of us house members. To us orphans...
So, from small to...
It's alright. I just hope you can... If you should need anything at all in the...
Bueno, ya os digo, a mí me parece bastante más interesante la historia de Fontaine de momento que la de Liyue. La de Liyue es, no sé, al final esto de los dormidos, todo esto, es diferente. O sea, perdón, la de Liyue, la de Sumeru quería decir. La de Liyue está muy guapa. Y la de Inazuma también, y Amonsa también.
Hey there.
Bueno, la Amonsa es poca introducción. No está mal, pero bueno, podría ser mejor.
Well,
Es
this
simplemente
whole
una
thing
introducción
isn't
al juego.
exactly over, is it? I do... Huh?
Ya, Sumeru
What's
no
wrong,
me
my dear
gustó
partner?
tanto. Me pareció que se enrollaban demasiado las cosas, tanto en el desierto como en las escenas. Lo de dormir a la gente y todo eso. Bueno,
I won't lie.
está bien.
Sorry.
No está mal, ¿eh? Pero
Don't
bueno.
say that, Navia.
Al menos la del desierto tampoco
And we
me...
were having so much fun
bueno.
investigating with you, too. It was like having new
Me pondría
waters flowing
un
into a stagnant
6 a la
mire,
historia de Sumeru.
causing new...
Para mí la mejor, yo
should
creo
we-
que es la de Liyue o
Well,
sea,
I'd
o
just like to
Inazuma,
have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later.
con un 9 o un 8.
Anyway, it
Monster
would
de un
just be a
7.
meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to...
Sumeru
Oh,
un,
wonderful! In that case, why don't we
Abajo un
return to the
5.
court of Fontaine
un
and head
5
to
y
the
de
Hotel de
momento esto me
Bois?
está gustando
I
un
believe
7.
we'll...
Alright then.
Vale, acto 1 completado. Pues ha estado guay. No ha habido ninguna mazmorra y eso me parece hasta incluso bien porque, bueno, al final hacer siempre lo mismo. Y es lo que me está gustando frente a esto de Sumeru, ¿no? U otras historias. Vale. ¿Qué hora es? Bueno, creo que a lo mejor lo voy a dejar por aquí, ¿eh? Bueno, estaba pensando, imaginemos que me pide un cierto rango de aventura para seguir con la historia. Yo creo que tendría suficiente dinero, por lo que todo el tiempo de dibujar nada de no gastarlo para los señores personajes. ¿Ve el visto de voy? Yo creo que lo vamos a dejar por aquí. En total hemos estado en directo 3 horas y cuarto de las 6 horas que os debía. Entonces, bueno, es un cálculo fácil. os debo de más. Me parece que son 2 horas 45. Sí, 2 horas 45. Pues el siguiente directo será de 4 horas 45 como máximo, ¿vale? Así que yo creo, pues sí, porque yo voy a hacer el cálculo, voy a hacerlo aquí en directo, porque no vaya a ser. Joder, coño. Un segundo, chicos. Bueno, de hecho... Sí. Piripim. Vale, 45. A ver, espera un segundo. Joder. Ah, 3 horas 45. Coño. Me estoy liando. Un segundo. 2 horas 45. Sí, lo que estaba diciendo. Dos horas 45 más 4:45 como máximo. El siguiente directo. 4 horas 45. Así que... Bueno, muchas gracias a la gente que está en directo. Ya sabéis, podéis seguirme en Twitter, en Instagram, o en mi server de Discord, que está en descripción, y nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo o directo. Muchas gracias por el apoyo. Ya seguiremos en el siguiente directo con la siguiente misión, que se llama una claridad como la de antaño. Perdón, una lluvia inesperada. Así que eso. Muchas gracias y adiós.